Christ, I'm a soldier. No, they'll never take us under, because we're bringing truth like thunder. Raining on your speakers like a ton of bricks. Hold the cross high.
Terry, we've got two more doctors who are now talking about how hydroxychloroquine has been politicized.
That's right.
We want you to hear a 3-minute clip, then we're going to discuss it. Two more doctors are speaking out. Go ahead, Mr. Engineer.
And those studies were used to terminate further evaluations of hydroxychloroquine. I've decided to speak out because the political interference in the physician decision-making process is objectionable and should not be allowed to continue. There are lessons to be learned from this pandemic on many levels. We've spoken about the dangers and the irrationality of the lockdown process. We've spoken about the violation of the scientific purity of investigation. We've spoken about media presentations and misrepresentations of data. This is injurious to the health of our population now, and I don't want to see this replicated in the future. I think as physicians we have a moral responsibility to protect our patients, to protect the science behind our medical decisions, and to prevent intrusions.
So I decided to speak out for one very specific reason. That was I was actually presented with a definite COVID positive patient, and I prescribed hydroxychloroquine and zinc because I was very up on the literature on this, and I got severely reprimanded for it. And I also had received a letter from the state board threatening all doctors, I was just one, with potential investigation into me for unprofessional conduct if I was to prescribe hydroxychloroquine. This was so shocking to me. It had never happened where the government told a physician if they had a right or not a right to prescribe an FDA-approved medication. I mean, that was just a sui generis event that took me by surprise. And I thought to myself, if doctors don't speak up, we're really all lost.
Let me add one other thing, if I might.
Yep.
So I think it's important in terms of people's perspective about the impact of COVID, that they understand that the data now show that 99.7% of people infected with COVID will survive.
Wow.
Terry, these doctors are being threatened by putting out the truth by those in governmental authority. But these aren't the only doctors. You know what happened is, once one doctor started speaking out, and the first ones that broke, there was two doctors, and I think they were in Bakersfield.
Central California, you got it.
Yeah, they were the first ones that started speaking out. And what happened is, I think they gave the other doctors courage, and they said, you know what, the emperor has no clothes.
Exactly.
The other doctors knew that as well, but they didn't want to say anything. I got one video of Dr. Yvette Lozano.
Oh, yeah,
He says the
that.
government's been playing us for fools with the COVID pandemic. 2 Orange County doctors break their silence on COVID-19.
Yep.
Here's another one. Dr. Cottrell on COVID-19, the way the scientists have been lying to us. Another doctor, Dr. Chris Martenzo. Our scientists are lying to us. Dr. Tenpenny. This is the biggest scam ever perpetuated on the human race. And now these two doctors here that are talking about how hydroxychloroquine has been politicized. You have Dr. Brouchard as well. I thank God, Terry, that they're putting their license on the line.
Yes.
They're speaking out against the establishment medical mafia. Let's just be honest. Follow the money.
Yeah.
Who gives them a lot of money? George Soros and Bill Gates. So when you get a lot of money from these private donors, you're going to say, the CDC and the WHO are going to say whatever they tell you to say, but these independent doctors that say, no, let's not politicize it. These are the bare bones facts.
And I would encourage our listeners to listen to the entire interview. It's very revealing. Bottom line, false studies. These doctors are being persecuted for bringing out the facts. Jesse, when they say outside forces, and they also use this, they said that politics kills patients. And what do they mean by that? Jesse, no, really. The politics will say, we have to go indoors. Look at all of the what I call collateral damage COVID-19 has brought on, not just to the United States, but to the world when they stop people from going to work. Look at how many people are starving because of that. Look at how many people have committed suicide because they said, COVID-19, I can't handle it. The pressure's too great for me. So this is why we come out, Jess, and say the emperor has no clothes on. And I really mean this. I feel bad that people are dying. People die from the flu. Many people, the statistics have come out that a large percentage of the people are dying are in rest homes. Okay, so why can't we protect our elderly, okay? And it doesn't affect young people hardly at all. And if they do get it, are you ready? If you're under age 70, very, very, a small amount of people are going to die from it. But Jess, it seems that we're over-exaggerating the effect of this COVID-19 to a point where we're closing shop. And what I'm going to say, outside forces, and you correct me, Jess, if I'm wrong on this, I think the outside forces are really, it all goes back against the President of the United States, Donald Trump, because a lot of people are upset that he got in 2016, and they said, and I'm just going to say it, we'll do whatever it takes to make sure he's not reelected, even to the effect of having thousands and thousands and even millions of people being affected by this COVID-19 situation, because we want to make sure the country is devastated by it. And so they're not going to want to put President Trump back in. Am I onto something, Jess?
I'll make it more specific. The liberal progressives Marxists that run the Democrat Party,
sure,
in line with the communist and the globalist, their biggest tool to worship Satan with is the killing of babies to the tunes of thousands every day.
That's right.
They're saying this president, if he wins another 4 years, he could change the face of the Supreme Court and give us real conservatives, not like John Roberts, a phony. He's a fake conservative. And they could end up removing Roe versus Wade.
Absolutely.
That's our sacrament to Satan. That's our worship to Satan.
Yep.
Trump may take this away. Oh, heck no. They're throwing everything at him but the kitchen sink, anything to save Roe versus Wade, so the liturgy of Satan can continue, which is the human sacrifice of babies.
And Jesse, just to prove your point, ever since President Trump won the election in November almost 4 years ago, there's been a constant effort to try and get him impeached, trying to get all kinds of ways. Ever since that time he became the president, even before, they couldn't deal with it. So I think there's enough evidence to show what you're saying is absolutely true. So what can we do as committed Christians and Catholics? Well, obviously we can pray for their conversion, number one. Number two, we can vote with a Catholic Christian moral conscience so that we will make sure that whoever's in the White House is not a baby killer. Okay, that's what I just called them. They're baby killers. They're sacrificing babies to Satan. I mean, I'm just going to say, maybe they don't know it. Actually, many of them don't know that, but that's in the effect of what's happening. And so we can stop that by our actions, by our prayers. So let's have a 1-2 punch. Your actions, live in a sacramental state of grace. And number two, vote pro-life. Are you kidding me? Anybody who votes on the other side objectively is committing a serious, we call it mortal sin, because you're participating in the killing of unborn babies. Whether you like it or not, that's the facts, Jess.
Yep. And Terry, somebody who listens to our show send me a little a text.
Yeah.
They said, I made an appointment at CVS in La Habra on June 15th at 9:30 to get tested for COVID-19. I had no symptoms and was just curious, so I ended up never going to the appointment. I got a call a few days later from CVS stating my name, saying my results were ready. Today, I received a letter in the mail with my lab results saying I tested positive for COVID-19. This leads me to believe that CVS is taking advantage of people who are going in to be tested, forging fake lab results.
They get money for it.
And marking people as being positive when they're not. Are they doing this because of the free money the government gives them for every test that is done? These results are now marked under my name And I bet I'm not the only one. There are probably so many other people this has been happening to that don't even know about it.
Wow, good job. Jesse, the facts are, that's why they want tracking. Let's say you know somebody, Jesse,